What is going on, everybody? Welcome to what is a somewhat impromptu live stream. As you've probably figured out if you saw the thumbnail or the title of the video, or if you're a friend of ours and we can't stop talking about it, so you probably know that way. But either way, Deano and I are off to Melbourne this coming weekend. I reckon in about maybe 60 hours we'll be in the air, which is exciting.
It's super exciting.
It's super exciting. So Dean and I are pumped, and we just thought, you know what? Let's sort of do a little preview stream. Go live for an hour and a half, talk about what we've got planned for our weekend, where we're hoping to go. We've got a fairly busy itinerary, a bunch of cool vintage toy stores, sort of more modern collectible stores, antique markets, all that sort of fun stuff. We've got a big toy fair at Caulfield Racecourse on the Sunday, which I've never been to before. Dino's obviously not been to Melbourne for the purpose of toy hunting before, so a lot of this is new to him as it is to me. So we thought we'd go live and just have a bit of a chat about what we got in store, what we're hoping to find, what we're expecting, and if any Melbourne peeps join us in the chat, by all means give us your recommendations. We're most definitely not Melbourne folks, we're from Sydney, so I've done a toy hunt there before, so I've got some idea of what to expect, but all recommendations are welcome. But Dino, a couple of days out, mate, how are you feeling?
I'm super excited. Every day getting closer. Started packing today, just getting everything ready. Yeah,
damn, that is organised.
Just getting the suitcases out, making space for hopefully all the toys and items that we find. Like you said, I haven't been to Melbourne to toy hunt. Last time I was in Melbourne, I got engaged. So, and I have to give a massive shout out to Sarah, my wife, who said, go have fun with the boys, go to Melbourne, have a weekend of toy hunting, and not realizing that we're leaving on the 14th of February, for those of you that don't know, Valentine's Day. And yeah, so I'll be up early, probably won't even see my wife. I'll be saying, love you, goodbye, but thank you. So yeah.
God bless Sarah for that one. That's awesome.
But
you better make it up to it when you get back, though, Dino. You got to plan something nice when you get back, I reckon. I'm
trying to, but I'm already celebrating. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. Well, let's say good day to people in the chat, and then we'll start to chat through our weekend. I can already see someone in the chat who's going to be meeting up with us there, which is cool. So
a few.
Firstly, let's say good day to Scree. Hey, mate.
What's going on, buddy?
Thanks for joining us.
Long time no chat, mate.
We've got who I assume is Matt there at Keep On Collecting. I know Matt is off to a football match tonight, so appreciate you popping in and saying a quick hello.
Hope they're winning, mate. Hope they're winning.
Oh, it's Andrew. G'day, Andrew. Appreciate you joining us, mate.
Hey, bud.
We got Simon. I actually reached out to Simon on email this morning just to let him know our movements, and he's definitely keen to join us, which is cool. And we'll talk a little bit about, obviously where we're going to be going on what days, and hopefully, when we can expect Simon to be joining us for that.
Nice.
We got Jules. G'day, Jules.
Hello, Jules.
We got Nick. G'day, Nick. Now, Andrew, is a good point. Andrew, Matt, obviously, if you've got stuff that you want us to look out for, whether it's at Lobos or at the Giant Size Toy Fair, definitely hit us up. Now is the time to be getting your requests in.
Yeah.
We've got Phil joining us. G'day, Phil.
Hello, Phil.
Appreciate you tuning in. Another bloke we're looking forward to catching up with, Ian. Hey, buddy.
Hey, mate. How you going?
Appreciate you hanging out with us, mate. Hope you got a wine in hand and you're enjoying your evening.
Are you selling there, Ian? Or are you just shopping?
That's a good call. Obviously, Ian is a regular seller at Collecticon. It'd be interesting to know if he's taken the whole, Toy Box Collectibles 2.0 presence down to Melbourne at the toy show. We've got Carl. G'day, Carl. Appreciate you popping in, mate.
Buddy. Hope you've been well, mate.
Simon's just saying he might have to make the trek up. I mean, absolutely, mate. You are always welcome to come join us for a toy hunt in Sydney. Anyone,
everyone.
Absolutely.
It really is. It's bubble wrap and a jumper.
Yeah, exactly. We're traveling light on the way down, just nothing but empty suitcases and hoping to fill them up with some cool stuff. But I don't know, Dino. I had this thought today when I was digging out my suitcase out of storage. I mentioned to you before we went live that, I've got the small suitcase, I got the big suitcase. I'm like, maybe I just play it safe and go with the big one. But I don't know. I've always got this thing where whenever I take a carry bag to a toy fair, I find less than if I don't. It's like I'm tempting fate. So I'm hoping I'm not, going to do the same thing by taking the big suitcase down to Melbourne. But look, Melbourne, as we've discussed, mate, it's. I think it's pretty undoubtable at this time. It's inarguable that it's the toy capital of Australia. So I think if
Oh,
that
100%.
suitcase up, it's Melbourne.
From what I've heard, Melbourne is the toy capital of Australia. But yeah, if you've got a bigger one, bring it. That's all I can say.
I'm thinking so. I don't know whether I should say this man's real name, but I'm going to anyway. Lee, g'day, buddy. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm looking forward to seeing you down there in Melbourne.
Have a beer, mate. Catch up.
Yep, pumped for it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
looking forward to a cold one on a Saturday night and hitting that toy fair on Sunday, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Not too many. Got to be up early.
Exactly right.
It does. Well, let's find out. Let's find out if it does.
For sure. We've got Sean tuning in. G'day, Sean. Hope you're well, mate. Sean? Oh, too kind of you to say, mate. Always appreciate your support. Always representing for the channel. We've got Stephen Brown all the way from North Carolina. Hope you are doing well, my friend. It's good to see you.
Hey, buddy. I wonder what time it is there.
I have absolutely no idea. And so Ian's not selling, but Rod. Okay, Rod is repping the Toy Box Collectibles, which is cool. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That is awesome. Hang on. Here we go. Carl just got back from Canberra, stopped by the CVCC. They've made so many changes since I was there last. Mate, that place goes from strength to strength. I mean, I think, Dino, you've been there once since my last trip.
Yeah, yep.
But
definitely different.
Yeah, but dude, our previous trip in April of last year, I hadn't been since 2022, and it was crazy how much that place had grown and evolved. So, Carl, absolutely.
Hope you got some cool stuff too, mate.
For sure.
5 a.m. Yeah, nice.
5 a.m. Appreciate you hanging in with us there, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Alrighty, that brings us up to date. So let's just talk a little bit through what we've got planned as far as our movements. Like I said, if anyone's joining us from Melbourne and you guys know better than us, let us know if there's anywhere we're missing. But so we're down there for 3 days. Obviously, we fly down Friday morning. We're there all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then we don't come back till Monday. So we've got a full 3 days. We've got sort of like one key stop of each day because I don't know, dude. I've been to Lobo's Collectibles once before, and it's a time vortex. You know what I mean? You've got many. You can go in there with plans to go to half a dozen other places later that day, and you've gone in there at 11 a.m. and you've come out and it's 3 p.m. and it's like, okay, well, where did those 4 hours go? Apart from good times and a little bit lighter on the wallet. But so we've got a big plan.
But I'm going off videos that I've seen. So your video, of course. Analog Toys, he put out a really good video of his travel down to Lobo's. So that is my key destination. I'm so glad it's going to be like the first day that we're in there. I don't have to wait long, but I'm just picturing hours, and I'm comfortable with that. And I just want to make sure that I soak it all in. Obviously, I'm going to be filming as well. I'm sure you are to capture this and make a few videos. But yeah, I can't wait to walk in there and just see that checkered floor and just enjoy.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. My first time in Lobo's was like in 2019, and I was there with a girl I was with at the time, and I honestly I had like 45 minutes because we had other plans. It was like, or maybe, and the store was packed, so it was it was trying to get around and find what I needed to find and like get the attention of one of the awesome staff there to get something out of a cabinet, and I was on the clock, and I was like. The watch was being tapped, and I was like, So, when I went there again with Matt and Andrew in 2022, we allocated a good chunk of time to it, and it was awesome. And obviously being there with like people that are as passionate about all this cool stuff as we are, it's a very different experience. So, look, what we've sort of loosely got planned for Friday is we start the day with a quick trip out to Go Figure Collectibles. And so that'll be sort of a fun little warm up for Friday morning. Dino, I apologize, mate. My dog's barking. I'm going to have to let her inside in a moment. But What I'll do is we'll do a quick whip through what we've got planned for Friday, and then I might hand over to you to maybe have a chat about a couple of the things you might be hoping to find at Lobos, if that's okay. But like I said, we'll kick things off with a little quick sort of morning warm up at Go Figure Collectibles. I've been to Go Figure Collectibles once before, and I really enjoyed it. Look, quite a bit in the way of modern, but they definitely had some vintage there with a focus on wrestling, which was really cool, right up mine and Matt from Keep On Collecting's alley. So we were there for maybe an hour to start our morning, and I think that's probably what we'll allow for this time. And then next up will be Lobos Collectibles, so we'll have a good chunk of the day there. We can honestly spend as much time there as we want, and then depending on how we're going for time, we'll whip sort of back into the city and check out a few places that are sort of closer to where we're staying. So Minotaur Entertainment, which I've never been to before, but it's like a big sort of comic store. I think it's probably going to have a lot of graphic novels, a lot of other like sort of modern collectibles and that sort of stuff. Like I said, I've never been there, but it strikes me as a place that's just really fun to have a look, have a wander, and who knows what we might find there. So that'll be an interesting one. And then
Trippy Trades was on the list. Trippy Trades was on the list.
Trippy Trades. I've never been there. I've seen that on Nostalgia Button. So shout out Sizdog's channel. I'd like to go pop my head in there. And then there's a really interesting looking sort of art toy store called This Is Not a Toy Store that does a lot of bespoke art toys, which again, like that's not really like more so Sofubi, just really interesting like stuff like that. So I'd be keen to pop our heads in there and check that out. It seems like a really interesting place to pop into. And then if we've got time, a place that I definitely want to try to make time for, and that is the Chapel Street Bazaar. So it's right in town, and it's a really cool sort of antique market with definitely a couple of stalls dedicated to the vintage toys.
That's one that I really want to hit up from photos and that I saw on Google. It really gives you that like American flea market look. So for sure. I'd love to go through there. But like just in that first day, that's already wiped out what Sydney has to offer when it comes to availability of vintage or modern toy shops in the area of the CBD or in a 40-minute radius. It's just crazy.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like I said, we've got a ton planned for the next couple of days plus the toy fair. So yeah,
there's no sleeping. There's no eating.
No, for sure. So
toy hunting.
For sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly say hello to a couple of guys in the chat, and then I might just pop up a couple of your slides if you want, and then we can circle back and we can talk Saturday.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Just want to say g'day to James. Hey, James. Hope you're well, mate.
Hi, James.
And we've got Hiro Ishiguro. Welcome to the chat.
Nice, mate. How are you?
Appreciate you hanging out with us. Look, Scree's definitely echoing our sentiments there on Lobos. It is an absolute time vortex. You definitely lose track of time with that joint. And the Lego store, which could be a good shout as well.
Yeah.
See how we go.
Isn't there a Lego store at the airport?
Well, there might just be. We might have to get things started early.
Just with a quick Lego set.
All right, Dino, I'm gonna be 2 minutes, mate.
Pop that up. So what I did, guys, is I just sort of made a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation of the sort of uncommon toys in that I'd like to get into the collection. We don't see these that much around the Sydney area. So I'm hoping with the majority of different places we get to go to, we might see some of this stuff. So Battle Beasts is something that I've decided for 2025 to start diving into. I've got 5 so far, 4 from my childhood, and I picked up 1 last year. So, and I feel like it's the worst time to start Battle Beasts. Ever since I thought about doing it in December, Battle Beasts have been popping up everywhere. Everyone talking about Battle Beasts, and I'm like, great, all right. But look, I'm not looking to find that many, but if I can find 1 or 2, and I just want to say everything in this list, even if I find it, and the price is like ridiculous, if it's too ridiculous, I'm still not going to pick it up just because it's sitting there. I want to get a nice, like, good representation at a good cost into the collection. So, Battle Beasts, yeah. You got any Battle Beasts, Scotty? I don't think you got any.
I don't, mate. I don't. I love Battle Beasts. Like, you know me. I mean, we definitely have similar tastes in this. Like we love our mini figures. We love Monster in My Pocket. I got a lot of nostalgia for the original like Muscle and Keshi figures from the 80s. Battle Beasts are wicked, man. Like, you know,
Did you have nostalgia for these as a kid? Did you have
no, I
any?
didn't. I didn't even know about these until I started collecting,
Yeah.
and learned about more toy lines that I was never exposed to as a kid. So no, I mean, I don't have any nostalgia. I don't recall them as a kid, but I can definitely appreciate the heck out of it. I mean, like
Yeah.
they're little sort of mutant animals, humanoid creatures that are like warriors. I mean, knowing how we feel about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, what's
Yeah.
not to love about that? It's not much of a stretch, is it?
No, it's an animal mutated morphic creation just put into a giant little battle. I used to play with the ones that I had. I remember I'd be like in class playing with them in my pencil case, so you couldn't see them having little battles. They were great. So yeah, something
That's
I'm going to be on the hunt for.
awesome. Awesome. What are we doing? Do you want to go more, or do you want to pick up Saturday now?
Just pick up some of these comments, just like
Yep.
Ian and that.
Good call. Good call.
Because that's
Ian,
all you, mate.
we were talking about this just before we went live, mate. We were talking about, what do we think of Melbourne coffee? Dino's not much of a coffee drinker. I love coffee. Coffee's going to keep us going on this trip. It's going to be full on, and I'm definitely looking forward to some good coffee and some good sort of cafe breakfast. We were just looking at what time a lot of the places we're going to be visiting open. I mean, it's all 10 o'clock starts all round for the most part, aside from the Toy Fair on Sunday. And Dean and I are early risers, so we're going to be enjoying some.
That's like 3 coffees for you before we start.
What's that, mate?
That's about 3 coffees before we even hit the places up.
Definitely. Potato cakes, on the other hand, I just can't get my head around that. It's scallops all the way.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what is that?
You never heard of potato cakes before?
No.
No, it's the great debate around what do you call them. I remember our good mate Greeny would always be calling them the potato cakes. But no, scallops all the way for me.
Yeah, scallops, which don't make much sense.
They don't make much sense.
But I don't want to get into it.
No.
That's a whole nother stream right there.
I'm going to come back to Simon's comment here, but Gen X Kid's thrown a spanner in the works about potato fritters. Is that Gen X Kid? Is that just like what you call them, or is that a South Australian thing?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that Adelaidean?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Simon's saying if you're on Chapel Street, make sure you hit up Comics R Us, 5-minute walk from Chapel Bazaar. Okay, that's a good call. I think we add that to the mix. I went to Comics R Us last time.
Are we talking vintage comics? Because I am on the hunt for a few that I want to look out for.
Well, they've got vintage toys there. At least they did last time I was there. So I think there's a fair bit they'll have some vintage comics. So we'll add that one to the itinerary.
I actually got out a comic that I was going to show if I needed to show something, which was...
Let's have a quiz while we're on the subject. Oh, not this. Come on, Scott. What are we doing?
Come on, man. Sectars. So I think there's 8 issues of this. So it's a really short run. And I just thought to myself, I want to pick it up. And again, a lot of people are talking Sectars right now. So, what number? Number 4. So if there is vintage comics around, I'm going to be diving in to have a look. But with that, I also had this one that I want to pick up. So these original Ewoks, the cartoon ones. But I wanted to show this one too, just for the backing. I thought you'd appreciate, Scotty.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. That is awesome. And you know what? That I'm hoping that foreshadows something that I might find in Melbourne. We'll see.
Yeah. So, yeah. Be looking for that. And, I'm not going to bring too many comics home. They get heavy, but if I can find a couple, that'll be nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what, man? With that said, with that recommendation from Simon and with you on the hunt for some vintage comics, I reckon we definitely go to Comics R Us. It's 5-minute walk from Chapel Bazaar, so I think we do those 2 back to back. We'll have to see if maybe one of the other places we mentioned might have to take a hit, but we'll see how we go.
That's it, man.
And across the road from the bazaar is Silver Lake Social, which has a great arcade out back, which is another good recommendation. It's funny. I do remember from our last trip to Melbourne, finishing the day with Chapel Street Bazaar was awesome because you finish the day and you're in the city, and you can go, we grab some dinner straight afterwards and had a couple of beers, and you're already back in the city. So I think it's awesome that we go out a bit further to start and we finish closer towards town where we're staying. So that'd be cool.
100%. Such a good plan.
The Lilith 1978. Hey, buddy. Toy Fair in Melbourne is a must, and you never know what you might find. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've been to the fair once previously, the Vintage and Modern Toy Fair at the Malvern Town Hall. This one obviously being the giant size at Caulfield. I'm even more pumped for it. So yeah, it's gonna be a nice way to finish the trip.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fantastic. We can pick up some items, hopefully that like either complete or some of the better items, especially what I'm going to show in this PowerPoint thing. But the toy fairs are always fun. They're a great opportunity to bundle loose things up and find accessories and get that sort of cheaper stocking stuffers, I guess you can call them. But yeah,
fully, yeah, absolutely. Have we mentioned Aaron's? We haven't, but that's a good segue to our plan for Saturday. So obviously, Friday in the books with Lobos being the focus, along with some of the other places that we mentioned. But what we're hoping to do for Saturday is actually kick things off at Aaron's Collectibles in Blackburn. It's a place I've been to before on a previous trip and absolutely loved. Very different to Lobos, but still so cool. Like I bought a lot of stuff. I had a lot of great finds from Aaron's last time. So hopefully that's the case again, and definitely looking forward to checking it out. So I think on Saturday, the loose plan is to start the day off at Aaron's Collectibles when they open around 10 a.m. And then we're going to be heading kind of east of Melbourne. There's some more antique markets that I'm keen to check out. There's a place called Picker's Retro Haven, the Lilith 1978. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I've never been there before, but it looks really cool. Picker's Retro Haven is sort of another antique market type place. There's also Waverley Antiques Bazaar, which I've been to before. I think Lee in the chat might have recommended that last time, or possibly Simon. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. So a couple of antique markets after Aaron's.
I love
after
them
that. Yeah, me too, dude. I'm looking forward to it. After that, there's
you don't know what you're gonna find.
No, exactly. And like I don't go to those sorts of, like, the Lilith 1978 saying it's a bit hit and miss. Like when I go to those sorts of places, I don't like, it's not like going to Lobos Collectibles or Aaron's Collectibles where you're expecting to find really good quality stuff for our collections. It's sort of just a fun place to wander around and just see what you can see. So that's really my plan for those places. And then additionally, there's a couple of sort of modern collectibles places like Aussie Collectibles, and I can't recall the name of the one, but Collectible
Zone.
Collectible Zone, that's the one. So a couple of those sorts of modern collectibles places to see us out on Saturday as well. So that should be fun.
And then back to Lobos. No. Maybe.
Who knows?
But first Friday night. What was that? First Friday night.
Night. Friday night, one Friday night, and 2 Saturday night soccer games in Melbourne over the weekend. Okay, Sean, you and mate, if you're in Melbourne and you're out and about and you're free, definitely shoot us a message.
That's it. We'll be out both nights somewhere.
We will indeed. Newish style figures. Try Go Figure. Yep, that's a place we're going to check out to start Friday morning.
That'll be our first stop.
Yeah, that'll be our first stop. I mentioned that to Dino that last time I was there, it was fairly heavy in the modern, but there was a little bit of vintage scattered around, which was cool to see, and just will be a nice way to get us sort of primed before we go to Lobos.
Which I still like to see. I still like to see what's being made. But even to this point here, like these antique joints, it's great just stumbling across like nostalgic things that you remember that you don't want for your collection, but you get to see it just sitting there on the shelf. Or even if it's an old telephone, you'll be like, hey, how cool is this? Or the old spin dial. Like, that's just fun.
Old audio stuff, old electronics. I'm not buying it, but I love to see it. So definitely.
There was just a comment from Lee up a bit higher.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was it? We'll come back to you, Adam. Just one moment. Secret tip for Aaron's. Okay.
Yes.
Make sure we can see the upstairs room. Interesting.
Yes.
I will use this. I will follow this tip. Thank you, Lee.
So is that Aaron work every day? Please be there. I wonder what's up there. Is it just overflow?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's all the stuff that hasn't made it out onto the floor. So we'll see how we go with that.
Yeah, might be cool.
Interesting. G'day,
Nice.
Adam. Pop culture. Oh, in Geelong. Yeah, dude, that's going to be too far away, unfortunately, for us. But mate, it just with Victoria, it doesn't seem to stop. I mean, they've just got so many places, even outside of
Yeah.
Melbourne. So
I was wondering. I looked up pop culture because I was wondering, is that an actual store you can go to? Like, I have bought things online.
yeah,
It's a cool place,
yeah.
from what I could see.
And Andrew's saying, "What do you mean old? He's still running the Rotary."
He'd be the only one if there was one.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, if you're looking for an upgrade, sing out, and we'll grab one for you at the Waverley Antiques Bazaar. Yeehaw! Hey, buddy.
Going on.
Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing well. VTR Dave is here. G'day, Dave.
Hello, buddy. How you going, mate? Aaron is a lovely guy. Just ignore. Okay.
Well, I look forward to meeting Aaron. I know, Scree. I know, mate. Next time, there'll most definitely be a next time.
Yep, there'll be next time. We'll pop back in. I'll show a few more items that I'm on the hunt for. And like I said, I put these in sort of a lower to higher ratio. So I'll just go through a few more. I'll go through two more, and then
that
just
one.
Put the chat up as they go. Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you know, big turtle fan. Both
Indeed.
of us are. Not a line that Scotty collects. These are the toys from Playmates that came out for the first live action TV show, The Next Mutation, which wasn't a good TV show. These figures here are the a little bit more uncommon figures. The kind of ones that you would overlook in a tub. Like if you saw any of those, Scotty, would you think that was a turtle from the 90s?
No, I definitely wouldn't. I like that dude on the right though.
The monkey or the bone steel?
Yeah, the ape in like the green.
Yeah, it's kind of like the mafia guy. So don't really see these. Don't want these on card. We're happy with these loose figures, complete, obviously, but something I am hoping to stumble across. And it's always crazy in like YouTube videos of toy hunts in America. You just see all these hanging on pegs in every shop they go to. So not so much here in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, so are you looking for those three figures in particular, or is this just okay? So you're not just looking for the line specifically, specifically these three figures.
This will complete the line. Finding these three figures, and even on eBay, these are pretty lackluster for Australia to find.
Fair enough.
So, also want to be keeping an eye out for two video games that I always do keep an eye out for. One is Stargate on the Super Nintendo, the SNES. And the other is the Donkey Kong Country, which is, I think, my most favorite game of all time, is the old Diddy Kong 2. Do you play either of these, Scotty? You would have played Donkey Kong for sure.
The first Donkey Kong Country, I believe, was in my top 5 video that I did of my most nostalgic Super Nintendo games. That original Donkey Kong Country, just straight blew my mind as a kid. It was just so addictive and just visually just stunning and just so fun to play. And it was such it just was very immersive. I honestly, I don't think to this day I've played the second one. Maybe I have, but I just, my memories of this franchise are just, it's all about that first game.
This went next level for me. They really opened it up a little bit more sort of world discovery in it from the overview map, which I really liked. But this was the pinnacle of playing video games, like with my mate, sleep over at his house, eating pizza and soft drink, playing Donkey Kong all night, just taking turns, getting frustrated. And Stargate's a lovely game. On a bit of a Stargate high too right now. So keeping an eye out for them. Good prices, hopefully.
Very cool, very cool. So not just the vintage toys, the vintage comics, as you mentioned, and now the games as well.
I'm trying to keep a broad spectrum, just so you never know. You never know. But sure, I do want them complete in box.
Okay.
I want good representations.
Okay. I reckon the Toy Fair is probably going to be a decent bet for those. Like, in fact, I brought back at
Yep.
least one Super Nintendo game from my last trip to Melbourne that I picked up at the Toy Fair.
Well, not like I don't know what like Trippy Trades. I don't know if they have
That's it.
vintage or anything
Yeah.
like that, but they have a lot of
Cool.
games. So, who knows?
Indeed.
They might not even be in the price range I want to spend, but Stargate's one I definitely haven't seen in person before, so that'd be really cool.
Mate, well, I'll be keeping my eyes peeled as well for you.
Thanks, buddy.
We're leaving it that for the moment.
Yeah, that'll do.
Or are we
for
going
now.
to keep it rolling?
I'll do. I think it might be one or two more. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it going.
So, Star Wars Vintage Collection. This is where we're talking modern. This is probably the only modern that I'll be sort of looking into. If I could get one of those play sets and it fits in my bag, I'd be pretty happy. But yeah, of course, I want to add a bit of Star Wars in, and that goes along with this fella. So this is the vintage, the real vintage R2D2 with pop-up sensor scope. So don't need him on card, but I just wanted to show that representation there. So trying to finish my vintage collection, and I only need this guy and what we call farm boy Luke, or just Luke back in the day. So yeah,
Cool.
hoping that'll be like I'm sure I could find that. It's just, again, is the dollar tag on it worth it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. There's finding something, and there's finding something in the right condition at the right price. So see how we go with that.
Massively. All right, jump into the chat. Well,
yep, let's catch up on the chat.
Ignore that.
The Lilith 1978. What do you find, gentlemen, on the hunt for? Dino's giving you a little glimpse at what he's looking for. I'll rattle off a few things that I'm on the hunt for. Look, I've got things that I'm always looking for, but there's a couple of specific things that I'll definitely be hoping to find, particularly at Lobo's Collectibles. So we'll circle through the chat and then I'll rattle off some of those. If we're in Melbourne Monday during the day, we could post pickups back home. We could do the old Ryan the Collector Kid trick of exceeding our suitcase with purchases and then having to send them home. We could. I mean,
have I thought about it? Yes.
we will be there first thing Monday morning. So as a possible contingency, I'd like to not have to do that, but we'll see how we go.
This is when a post office at the airport is just needed. Like,
it's such a good call. Such a good call. Shane Coe, hey buddy.
Shanka,
thanks for joining us, mate.
If you're still there, Shane, I've got something for you, Shane. So if you're going to Penrith CollectorCon in March, catch up with me, mate. I've got something to give you.
There we go. This is a good suggestion from Carl, I reckon. Going to a Savers might be a shout if we have time. Obviously, op shops are hit and miss. I think, in fact, I believe Matt and Andrew and I might have wandered into a op shop or two while we were there. Maybe I'm thinking of a trip to Canberra. I can't quite recall, but I suppose it all depends. Like, I wouldn't go out of our way for oppies, but if we drive past one and we've got time,
when there's so much there already. Like, I know we did ops in Canberra while we were waiting. So still, it's always next time.
Oh, Sean, this is a dangerous question because I think Dino's wife is probably watching, but
that's fine.
let me just say we've been planning this trip for ages. In fact, we've been planning this trip for ridiculously long because it's been postponed a couple of times because we've been trying to rally the troops and pick a time when we can all go. And the reality is that time never comes. So, look, I don't know about Dino. I've probably got. Oh God, do I even say it?
No,
look, I'm
not going to say it. But
what's that?
I'm not going to say it, but all I'll say is
I love a bit of class.
I definitely pulled up the handbrake and just locked it down for a couple of months. So make what that is. I didn't buy anything. I wasn't getting anything. There was no toy shows or anything like that. I just locked down, put it all away. So got a good chunk. Hopefully, won't spend it all, but
look, same approach for me. I've not made any. And look, some people might think this is ridiculous because it's only the 11th of Feb, but I've not made any purchases to start the year. So, which is not super uncommon for me because I am buying less on eBay and leaning more on toy fairs and buying direct off fellow collectors lately. But I've pulled up stumps as well. Like I've been saving and I've been saving for ages because, like I said, we were planning this trip last year and it got delayed. So, So yeah, I'm in a good spot to be able to enjoy the trip, but I'm not looking to max out my credit card or anything like that. That's not what.
No,
that's
what I want it to be. I want it to be able to make a purchase if I needed to, but also go across the whole weekend.
Fully.
Hey, Mike.
Fully.
How are you, buddy?
G'day, Mike. Hope you're well, buddy. Find that Star Wars stuff at Lobo's for sure, mate. Lobo's have had that ridiculous vintage Star Wars display. You know,
I can't wait to see that.
You would have seen that on YouTube. I mean, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if they've started selling off some of that stuff, but I think there's a fair bet that you'll find what you need as far as vintage Star Wars at Lobo's.
Yeah. No, I hope they still have that set up, still the vintage there, but also I've seen glimpses of just the modern figures on the carded walls. So
yeah,
it's going to be awesome.
I think Shane's responding to your mention that you might have something for him, which is cool. Aaron's had 2 nice R2s. Interesting.
Yeah, nice.
Leave your wallet on the street out the front of Lobo's.
Oh yeah.
Dean, will you be tub diving in Melbourne? He does 100%. Indeed. He's a talented man.
I tub diving in the tuna. Love it. Yeah, I do love my tub diving. For those of you that don't know, and yeah, I have been lucky enough to find a few gems in the bottom of tubs. But yeah, it's just fun. Like that's just you dig through. Most people stop at the midsection, but you just gotta get down to the bottom.
He's got a knack for it. I mean, look, I've captured this in my videos before. I'll literally go through a tub, find nothing, and then 10 minutes later, Deano will be like, "Oh, do you need that?" And it's like I've already been through that tub. So he's got a knack for it. Where there's tubs, I'll be hovering around just because Dino's always got that luck, and I'll be looking to ride off those coattails. So I certainly hope so. I think the Toy Fair is probably a good bet for some tub diving. But I think that just about brings us up to date, except for a very valid question from Phil: is it a schooner in Melbourne? I don't know.
Oh, I don't think it is. Is it?
I think they might do pots and pints. I don't know.
Yeah. I think schooner is only New South Wales from memory.
But either way, I am looking whatever they call it in Melbourne. I'm looking forward to a few.
Yep, definitely will be looking forward to it. I think we're going to be tired. I think we're going to be just hanging for that beer at the end of the days.
We will indeed. The Lilith 1978 will be at the Toy Fair Sunday, mate. If you see us, say g'day. I'd love to meet you.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
For sure.
Very cool.
We'll be the guys walking around looking lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we will indeed. We'll be overwhelmed by that point.
And if you can't find me, just look down and find a tub. Give me a kick.
We're going to be overwhelmed for sure.
Oh, nice.
Go figures change location. Okay. An hour round trip. Okay, I'm going to have to review. Okay.
Probably an hour round trip. That's a really good. I looked it up the other day. So if that's the location, I didn't think
it was that far away.
Like 20 minutes out from the airport, I think it was.
Okay, Simon, I'll shoot you a message and verify, mate.
But thank you.
But thanks for thinking of us. Adelaide schooner is a Sydney midi. No way.
It is. Yes, I had that last year. But they have good beer with Coopers. Love that beer.
And Ian saying pleasantly surprised by the number of tubs in Melbourne, possibly more than Penrith. There's something to look forward to.
Everyone's getting me even more excited here.
I know.
Fantastic.
I know. And that's right, Adam. We'll be rationing our beer each day, so we don't have to dip into the toy budget.
That's it.
But now that we're up to date, I might just rattle off a few things that I'm hoping to find, and then we'll go back to yours, Deano. So I don't really have a lot of specific things in mind, but from my prior experience of toy hunting in Melbourne, like I've got types of things that I'm looking for in each place, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So Lobo's is ridiculous. The selection, the depth of stock, the unique items, just the stuff that you don't see elsewhere in Australia is so good. But one thing that you don't necessarily go to Lobo's for, and this isn't a knock on them, but it's not necessarily from my experience of going there only twice. So correct me if I'm wrong, but based on my experience, I don't think it's really where you go for a bargain. And that's not a knock on them. It's just when you go somewhere that has that much cool, uncommon stuff.
Quality.
I would imagine a lot of it's sourced from the US or the UK, and if that's the case, like they've got to charge top dollar for it. So if I'm buying from Lobos, I'm trying to buy things that I'm just not going to see elsewhere in Australia or on eBay locally. I'm going to have to buy it from the States. So the things that I'd like to be buying from Lobos are like those uncommon things. If it's the key lines that I collect, like vintage TMNT, WWF Hasbro's, or Mighty Max, for example, it's that rarer late wave stuff that's complete and in really nice condition. And I feel comfortable that I'm going to buy it here, or I'm probably just not going to see it again for the next couple of years. You know what I mean? But I'm also looking to find from Lobos some of the things that I've just been struggling to find. Like one thing that I spoke about on my live stream with Matt and Andrew and VTR Dave and Reynolds Reviews on the weekend was food fighters, because Dave hooked me up with a couple of his spare food fighters. If I can find some of them, I'd be stoked. They didn't have any food fighters last time at all. So I settled for some Mattel Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which are also really fun. So I'd love to see if they've maybe got some food fighters. You mentioned Mad Balls before on the back of that vintage comic. I'd love to see some Mad Balls, maybe even some carded Mad Balls, or some loose, complete Mad Balls head poppers with clips intact is something I'll be looking for. And I'll give you one more.
What is a food fighter? I know they're super rare in Australia. What sort of price are we looking for a loose or on card food fighter?
Oh, dude, I don't know. But a loose food fighter complete, if it's in Australia, is probably going to run you about $100 to $150.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And that's if you see one. That's if you see one.
But that's
which is why it blew me away so much that VTR Dave hooked us up with a couple just paying postage from the UK. But look, I do know that they're more readily available in the UK, a lot more readily available. But I'll be looking out for those. And one more thing, I want to get some more vintage Universal Monsters in the collection, maybe some late 70s or early 80s vintage Universal Monsters. If I had my choice, I'd love to get some 1980 Remco mini monsters, either loose or carded, like depending on price. Like last time we went to Lobos, they had a carded Remco mini monster Dracula in really nice condition in an acrylic case. And that would have been like a good chunk of my budget for the trip, and I wasn't game to do it then. And I can imagine prices have only gone up, so that might be a challenge, but we'll see. But those are the sorts of things I'm going to be looking for at Lobos. If I'm buying stuff at Lobos, it's probably going to be stuff that I feel like it's my best shot, if not my only shot of finding.
Yeah, I think you're correct with that, and that's my mentality too. And what I've seen, what people say about going there, especially with what it costs to get a good quality, complete figure from them. So yeah, I'm going to do that same approach. Save all the little bits and pieces for the toy show and the other places, and really focus on these pieces that I hope might be there. So
really for sure.
You got any turtle items that you're hoping that you might Android Krang or anything like that?
You know what, dude? I would love to find like the large 9-inch Krang's Android body. You know, at the Melbourne Toy Fair last year, and I captured this on video. I found it for $50 and I didn't buy it. Yeah,
with antenna.
No antenna. Stickers were rubbish. Wasn't in good condition, but it was still $50. And I feel like if I saw that now, I'd just pick it up, because that it's getting harder and harder to find. But Sean's likening us to the toy chasers, mate. That is high praise indeed. So thank you very much for that. I've been going to the toy fair well over 20 years. Each time I always find something to bring home. Yeah, for sure. Lobo's a great store, but you pay retail. You pay retail, but not eBay prices, but cheaper than international. Okay, well, that's look, the other thing that I will say is, like, I don't, all of the things that I bought at Lobos previously, I wouldn't for a second say that they overcharged me, not by any means, but it's like I was paying prices of like what I'd pay on eBay, but I was finding stuff that I would never find on eBay, at least locally here in Australia.
Yeah.
G'day, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
Hope you're well, mate. Set up a GoFundMe. Exactly. If we don't come back to Sydney, you know what's happened. We've completely blown our budget.
We'll just drive it all back.
Yeah, exactly. Remco Mini Monsters Dracula, indeed, absolutely. +1. Gen X kids keen on one as well. I love that line. So, those are the sorts of thing. Dennis, you can work on him on prices. Yep, I've had that experience as well previously. The guys, especially when you buy a stack of stuff, the guys will absolutely look after you. So, I've had that same experience. And Dennis is a great bloke, and Oscar and his other staff there that I've experienced previously were great.
Hell yeah.
Ryan, we are off to Melbourne on Friday, my friend. Looking forward to it. So that's Lobos. Aaron's, I feel like my previous experience at Aaron's, I was finding like just really cool pieces to like fill gaps in my collection. Like last time at Aaron's, I bought Turtle stuff, I bought Kenner Real Ghostbusters stuff. Like it was just like the staples, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And things that were in really nice condition that I've been looking for. Not sort of rare by any means, but just like all those gap fillers for Turtles and Ghostbusters and maybe some Mighty Max and those sorts of things. Like that's kind of what I'll be looking for at Aaron's, the staples. And then
Nice.
the Toy Fair, I'll be looking for the bargains.
Yeah.
As will
100%.
everybody else, I guess. So
So is there any Mighty Max left, or are you done? Are you done
So
now?
there's definitely Mighty Max left. My main focus with Mighty Max is the Doom Zones, and
Yeah.
there's 18 different. And I don't know if James Ward is still watching. He's definitely someone that has loved Mighty Max over the years, and I always talk to him about it. But there's 18 Doom Zones. I only need 2. I need what is it? I need
The rat one?
I need the rat one, so
Yeah.
Traps Rattus, and I need Sinks Nautilus, like the sea snail one. Those are the 2 that I need.
Brilliant. All right.
But I mean,
Keep an eye
like,
out.
yeah, but I feel like if you find those these days complete, particularly in Australia, like they're $250 Doom Zones, but I need them, and if I see them at a comparable price, I think I'd probably pull the trigger on those if they're complete. And
That would be a good pickup for the trouble.
that'd be a great pickup. What I would also like is, the big, and I know that Ryan's got one of these. I know he picked up a box for one last time he was here at Collecticon, and that's Skull Mountain, the big playset. I'd like to get my hands on that as well.
Yeah, wicked. That was good. I loved him trying to get that home.
I know.
TMT expert. Yeah, well, that'll be a good conversation for us.
I'm going to probably be going straight to Lobo's turtle shelf just to see what they got, because I know they usually have a stack of that.
I will just stand there in awe, not knowing what to do.
I know. Superpowers. Yeah, definitely superpowers on my list. There's a bunch. I mean, I need a penguin. I do like the Batman Rogues Gallery, and I definitely need a penguin, but there's a bunch I need. I need a Dr. Fate. I still need the dude with the fire on his head.
Yeah, Firestorm.
I need a bunch. And I did see on Analog Toys channel, he scooped up a whole bunch of superpowers, so I'll definitely have to have a squeeze at what's left.
If you go to one of my slides.
Okay, let me just bring up to date. Mr. Brightside 2017, plenty of Mighty Max, excellent. I hope that's all still there. I look forward to checking that out. Lobo's a department store, Aaron's is a supermarket, Toy Fair's like a box of chocolates. No, I don't take any disrespect from that, mate. Different stores sort of have different approaches, but I like them all in different ways, so I can't wait to check them all out.
And it's all your taste as well.
Definitely. Collecticon budget? Well, no, I think in that regard, Adam, this is the perfect timing for this trip because there's no Collecticon until the end of March. So, I don't think it's gonna. I think I'll still be good for Collecticon.
Yeah, I go cheap, like we talked about, tub diving, bundle deals. I go cheap at Collecticon.
Yeah, right.
If you're looking for G.I. Joe, there is some great local guy here. And I don't do G.I. Joe that much, but still would be cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, let's bring up the next slide of yours, Dino.
Which they already saw. So this guy, Kip from Small Soldiers, part of the Commando line, from that 90s movie, a really hard one to find. Never pops up on eBay that much. never seen him in person. Most people that collect the small soldiers get to this point where this guy has just left. But I've seen 2, I think. So Kip from the small soldiers, if I can find him even loose, scooping him up. This is probably one that I'd pay a little bit more for. So imprint that, Scotty, if you see him. Let me know.
I'm committing these to memory, mate. Next one?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, hang on. Oh, no.
Doesn't matter. No one saw it. Cut. Superpowers. Who was that? Dave? VTR Dave? Hey, Nate. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, Nate.
So superpowers, like Scotty and I just said, there is a few, but I would be looking for Batman with a nice cape, with a nice paint app, especially around his chest there. That's who I really need in my collection to sort of fill out the Justice League, like the main characters, I guess you would say. And I'd love to see Clark Kent, who, if you didn't know, is Superman. Jesus.
Wasn't Clark Kent a mail away in that line?
He was. Yeah.
So does that mean he's a lower production run? He's a rarer figure these days?
I would say so. I'm not. Yeah, I would say definitely. But he's out there, so I'd love to see him. Lobos, if anywhere, is going to have him. They did have that big superpowers collection that came in around the same time. Analog Toys was there, but probably a lot gone right now. But Batman, he's a sort of common, but it's the paint app that I need. So,
yeah, no, for sure. He's not the easiest figure to find in really nice condition because of that cape gets a bit frayed and his logo on the chest gets a little bit worn. So you want to find a nice Batman.
100%. So the next one that you did see, you want to go press that, Scotty, so I don't press it on top of you?
Yep.
The Indian in the cupboard. Now, I don't know if you know that this is a figure. So
I didn't.
This was an American release. So the actual cupboard you see behind the little Indian with the key on the left, that's actually a VHS tape. It's like a clamshell.
No way.
So that opens up as your cupboard, and you get to use that key on the side of the clamshell to lock it and close it, and you get this little tiny minifig, probably like smaller than 3 3/4.
Like a little PVC non-posable figure.
Yeah, because that's what he is until he puts him in the cupboard, you turn the key, and he comes to life. I would love to get this. This has always been on my wish list, my focus list, but being it's super like rare in the States, getting it over here or finding it over here. But you never know. You never know. When you do see him in hunting videos from the States, it's usually missing the key and the figure. Mostly always the figure. But that would be cool. It would be cool.
Are you just trying to find this as a complete unit? Do you have the tape and you're looking for the other elements?
I'd like to find it as a complete unit.
That'd be pretty wild.
The key and the figure itself are so iconic to the movie. I love that movie as a kid. So
it's such smart marketing for the release of that VHS as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like have your own little cupboard, put all your figures in there.
They crushed that.
They did, man.
That's awesome. We moving on.
What's the comments?
Phil's just showering praise upon that Batman figure, and I agree with him. And we've just got a comment here about Dennis is always restocking. If you don't see it on display, they probably got one out the back. So just ask. That's a great piece of advice, I suppose, for any vintage toy store. I mean, it seems like any good store has a heck of a lot of stock out the back. So yeah, good call on that one.
Yeah. No, I'd love to go out the back of some of these stores like we did in Canberra. That
was so fun, eh?
See that overflow and just like rummage through a few boxes with absolutely no idea what you're going to stumble across. That was really cool. But yeah, you can flick to the next one. There's only a couple left. I think 1 or 2 left. This is something that's been on.
I might actually fight you on this one.
Get away. This has been on my top list for so long. This has been like number 1, number 2 for years now. So I had this Dr. Dreadful Food Lab when I was a kid. I got it gifted to me for my birthday, and I loved cooking up. So what you do with this is It's all like a little chemistry play set, but it had little pouches of food that you could create little like snakes or bugs or worms, even like gooey stuff. Like you would just eat brains and all this stuff. They actually recalled it, and they said eating the stuff wasn't great for kids, and like there was some chemicals in there. By that time, I'd already eaten everything, so
Oh, really?
yeah, because you could buy refills and that, so I was already up to that point. But Dr. Dreadful Food, it's this particular one that I want, the Dr. Dreadful Food Lab. This is the one that I got. So there's a whole lot of different Dr. Dreadful Drink Lab and like newer versions that they made. So it's this particular box art, this particular unit, and it's a big box. Like if you know it, Scotty, then you know it.
Yeah.
But she's a decent sized box. But that would be serious consideration if that was sitting on the shelf, complete with everything going on.
Yeah, that box is fire.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I'm with you on that. I won't. I'll be a good wingman. I won't snatch that out from under you, but I want to. Not gonna lie.
I never knew you'd liked it. That's cool.
Oh, sorry, dude. Yeah, no, I just think that's awesome, man. Dr. Dreadful. Yeah. It's nostalgic. I never had that as a kid, but I think it's just so cool.
Yeah, I don't know why that one disappeared. Like we must have just ran out of food, couldn't buy more, and there was no point.
Yeah.
So, which is weird for me, my family. And the last one, which is that is my beloved Visionaries. So I do have a good collection of loose Visionaries, nothing complete as yet. I would love to have at least one carded representation of the Visionaries. You can see that it's got a nice hologram on the actual card art itself, and then on their staff, and then on their chest plate, they've got more holograms. So having one of those on the shelf would just be fantastic. This is something that I'm hoping one day they'll decide this is a good enough adventure show to make a live action movie, because it would just be so cool.
That'd be pretty sick.
So yeah, so that's my 10 sort of top focused items that I'm going to be sort of something. But I'll probably come home with a whole suitcase full of everything except for this.
Sometimes the way it goes, but no, it's cool to have some things in mind that you're on the hunt for. It just makes it all the more satisfying if you can find them.
I know.
And I don't know, like I know you were in the chat while we were live on Sunday, just talking about taking stock of our collecting. I was making a comment about trying to be intentional about my collecting and not compulsive about the stuff that I buy, and I'm always mindful of that. There's lines that I was really passionate about in years gone by that I'm less so this year. So, when it comes to spending big, especially, on sort of, the higher ticket items, I try to really make sure that it's something that I want to display and it's important to have in the collection. And I think having a focus list like that when you plan a trip like this is sort of in line with that approach. So I think that's awesome, mate. And look, I've got a few more to add that I'm going to be on the hunt for. I want to try to find, and I think Lobos are probably a good source of this. And I'm not just saying it because they posted one on Instagram during the week. I've actually had this in mind. And that's some catalogs, whether it's vintage retail catalogs. Like if I can find some Australian Uncle Pete's Toys or Toy World or World for Kids or Toys R Us retail catalogs from the 80s and 90s. But also, I know, I don't know if these ever made it to Australia back in the day, but obviously you've got your Toy Fair, you've got your industry catalogs.
So Lobos has a World for Kids one.
Yeah, I did see that.
And I just commented on it saying like I'd love to see that, and we're coming in next week. So hopefully it'll still be there, even if it's not a purchase. I would love to like capture it and also just sit there and flick through it. But 100% on what you're saying when it comes to I was going to raise maybe not toy catalogs, but like just even if they're unofficial toy books, like things like that, things that just go through the whole like collection or whatever it is. Definitely would be on the hunt for them. Always are those Tolman review books. Yeah, Tomart, sorry. The magazines, that sort of thing. So
definitely. Just a few comments here. Yeeha's asking if you saw some TMNT vehicles that you don't have, would you grab them from Lobos? Mate, I don't know if I would because I don't have a lot of space for them. Like, I'm running out of space, and I'd rather the space that I have, I would rather use to have like a nice selection of all of those figures that I've been collecting, rather than take. Don't get me wrong. If I saw a really nice, complete, loose blimp in nice condition with no punctures, I don't need a box, and it was at the right price, I would probably grab that because I can deflate it, I can get it home. It's not going to take up a ton of space, and I can mount it to my ceiling, and it won't take shelf space. So I think that would be one. Plus, the blimp is so nostalgic to me. I never had it as a kid, but it was like just such an iconic piece of turtle, Playmates history that was on the shelves back in the day. So that might be one, but I'm not going to go out of my way for vehicles to answer that question.
I'm on the same page. I've got all these vehicles up here. I'm getting vehicled out just because of space. So definitely be looking at them, but won't be. I don't think I'll be considering them.
Oh, yeah, to your point, Dino, don't get me wrong. If I see them at the Toy Fair, if I see them at Lobos, I'm going to be frothing on them. I'm going to be capturing footage of them. But I'm at the stage now where like I don't need to own it all. I can, and I mean, I'm not. That's not to say I'm not collecting, but it just means that I don't need to buy it all because I don't need to buy everything that I like because I like too much stuff that I can't own it all. So I need to make some tough choices, but I can still appreciate it and enjoy it while I'm hunting.
I'm a massive Never Ending Story fan. Probably in my top 5 movies. Sarah's always going on about me watching Never Ending Story and hearing that song. But I didn't know about this 4K set. So I'm definitely going to check that out. That's wicked cool.
There we
Are
go.
they supposed to be making a new movie, but haven't heard too much.
We've got some love for Dr. Dreadful. And there was another one called Mad Scientist as well, which was really cool.
Yep. Remember that.
I think this comment might be regarding Visionaries.
Visionaries.
I'm not
See, $100. I would probably take that for Carter Visionary over here. And VTR had a comment there, and I'm just curious when we get to it.
Don't wear black. We'll see. I do like black, but I might have to break from that, Adam, upon your advice. Ian,
all I wear is black.
Yeah,
but I have my hair.
Known side effects of eating Dr. Dreadful. Yeah, addictions to sweet flakes.
Okay. See, there you go.
There we go.
So I'm wondering, Dave, are Visionaries plentiful over there on card, or are they plentiful loose? I know you've got them all. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm just looking for one. One will do me for now.
G'day, Enz.
Hey, Enzo. How are you, buddy?
You popping in, mate. After this weekend, the Gladiator rep. Yeah, if we find something that we both need, we might have to get the old jousting sticks out.
We should ask Enzo what a potato scallop's called in Perth.
Yeah, good call. Hey, Enz, we've got a question for you, mate. What do you call potato scallops, and what are your beers like? What are your beer sizes? Schooners, pints, pots, or whatever in WA?
What was it?
80s and 90s Corona catalogs, yeah.
They're just
Corona catalogs would definitely have that Gladiator stuff in there, or at least 90s ones would.
I would love a Playmates one. A nice, 1990 Playmates.
Oh, 100%. If we see a person in a wheelchair head in bin at a toy fair, it's probably me. Oh, good on you, mate. Well, make sure you say g'day if you see us. If you see us and you recognise us, give us a tap.
Just yell out, mate.
Be good to meet you. And if you're digging in a tub, we might we'll get into it once you're done.
That's it.
Yeah, Enzo's parted with some very, very quality stuff at Lobos. So, yep. I'm sure they've given it a good home, mate, and be interesting to see what's still there. But if there's anything there that you want back, sing out, and we'll be happy to grab it for you.
Who are they?
Annoying Customer 77, Sydney celebs.
I mean, who are the Sydney celebs?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Pints and schooners, same as
yeah.
Sydney. There you go. Potato fritters. Get out of here with that. Potato
Oh,
cakes.
potato cakes. It's only us,
Okay.
man. We need some
Scott.
Northern Territory people.
Exactly. Well, that brings us up to date on chat. I suppose the only thing we've not really talked about. Actually, let me just check this comment from VTR.
We haven't
Cards
talked
don't
about
come up too
Sunday.
often.
Okay. The UK fairs. Loose appear, but often missing accessories. 100 AAS for a card seems a good price. Yeah, nice. All right, mate. Well, hopefully I find at least one.
Fingers crossed, mate. You have a second set of eyes looking out for him as well in me. So, and we've
Thank you.
obviously got your
Yeah.
dad joining us as well, which is going to be fun.
I was going to say, so yeah, it's a 3-man team, and
3-man wolf pack.
whoa, or do we quack? Do we quack? So what about Sunday? Sunday's obviously the toy fair. So
Yep.
early bird tickets are in hand. So as soon as we figure out, you've been there before, I think, so we'll possibly know where we're going. Yeah, looking forward to that. And then we got the afternoon. So who knows what we can do with that? We could head back to Lobos if need be, or back to one of the favourite haunts that's close by.
So yeah, we've got the toy fair Sunday morning. Probably get some lunch after that. It wouldn't surprise me if we do a second trip to Lobos, just based on our experience last time. Because, like, if we hit Lobos first up on the Friday, obviously we're not going to want to tip out our wallets. But there'll be things that we've seen, and it's like, I wouldn't mind coming back for that, depending on how much or what else I find or how much I spend. So I've got a pretty strong feeling we'll be doing a second dash back there just to pop in and grab a couple things that we might have looked at previously. And then I suppose, like, if there's places that we've missed, we're going to have plenty of time to check those out as well. And then it'd be nice just to have a relaxed Arvo too.
That's it. With more beer.
Too crazy.
With more beer.
Exactly. More beer indeed. So yeah, that's our weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I was saying to Tina, I've got a hectic couple of days between now and then work wise, but once I get through those, I'll be rocking and rolling, and I can't wait. Anything else you're going to be looking out for, Dino?
Oh man, like I've said so much. Yeah, there's the toys. I'm open to viewing a lot of modern. I don't know. I don't think I'll be buying modern down there that much because I can just get it normally. A few comics if I can. A few video games if they sit right. But no, I just want to see Melbourne too. Wander the streets. So we're gonna go to the casino on Saturday, I think. So
yeah, for sure. So
if anyone wants to.
Yeah, good call, Dino. I know we've got a couple of people in the chat from Melbourne, so if anyone fancies linking up for a couple of beers at the Crown Casino on Saturday evening, just shoot us an Instagram message and we'll let you know where we're going to be and what time we're going to be there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a nice way to sort of finish the Saturday and gear ourselves up for the toy fair on Sunday.
Yeah, it's just good to meet up with other collectors and just talk about what we like. Talk about what we've done. Who knows? But just, seeing Melbourne, walking the streets, enjoying the weather. That's cool. So the weather looks like it's going to be 17 to 19 degrees. I can't wait for that. So.
Many people would not want to leave the Sydney sunshine to go to Melbourne.
I do. I'm done. Bring on winter. Let's go. So,
I'm inclined to agree with you, mate. I'm looking forward to just a little bit of cooler weather, especially in the evening, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I hate being hot at night.
Yep.
But anyway.
But yeah, just chilling out, talking, hanging out, soak it up. I don't want it to go too fast.
While we're chatting about this, is there anything that you know that your dad's going to be looking out for? Like, is there anything that you know is at the top of your dad's list that he's hoping to find?
Oh, I asked my dad this, and no. Not that much. Major Matt.
Major Matt Mason?
Yeah, so Major Matt Mason. I know that he's on the hunt for one of those. He likes his G.I. Joe 12-inch, like the 60s sort of one.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much the actual action figure, but more like the accessory packs and things like that go with it. My dad's a big train fan, so like model trains and that sort of stuff. So I think there is a train place near the toy fair on the Sunday that he might duck off to. So Yeah, my dad just likes to buy what jumps out to him, what he likes. He'll just pick up and yeah, add in. He loves his Star Wars, and so I'm sure he's
Yeah,
going
I mean,
to for that.
mate, look, we're both massive nerds for this stuff. Like, I always like to see what other people pick up.
Yeah.
One of my fun things about the last Melbourne trip was just like seeing what Matt and Andrew pick up and why. You know what I mean? Because all of that stuff's so different to what I'm looking out for. So,
So we
and
are.
you learn more because of it. You learn about other lines or just things that we weren't exposed to as kids because it's prior to our time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your dad picks up for sure.
And this is a bit different too, because normally we buy everything that we want, and then we all say goodbye at the end of a toy show and head off. We get to go back and have a look at what each of us found. But the next probably 2 episodes that'll be on my channel that release, you're probably going to love, because it's a deep dive into the Taylor vault, is what I call it. So we're talking toys from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Like, we're really looking at some pretty cool gems from back in the day, like my dad's childhood. I think there's even
Really?
yeah.
That's
So,
awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
that's a little sneak peek at what's coming up on my channel. But yeah,
Very cool. Very cool. We've just got another recommendation here. Alternative Worlds is a great comic shop too. That's one we'll have to keep an eye out for. If
like
you,
a new comic or vintage,
yeah,
or
if you're
like
still in the chat, let us know. What are we talking modern? Are we talking vintage? And whereabouts in Melbourne? Be good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Gen X kid, yep, 17 to 19. It's 44. Yeah, it's been. Mate, we've had ridiculous weather all across Australia at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm ready for autumn as well, for sure. Maybe not winter, but certainly autumn. We are staying in the city, like we're staying around the Collins Street area, so should be a good sort of home base for a lot of the places we're checking out.
Yeah.
We've got a shout out here for the Adelaide video.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Oh yeah, how you going, mate? Yeah, that was a fun trip. So yeah, shout out to my wife again. Two out of state trips in 3 months. Yeah,
it's cool that you posted that weekend just when we're getting geared up for another weekend.
Yeah, like, it got me pumped. And look, it was on the back burner, and I had to get out. Like, that was November, that convention, and I just, there was others in the line, but thank you for that.
Yeah. All Star Comics, 50 Queen Street in the city as well. Another comic store. Man, it sounds like Melbourne's got a ton of comic stores, which is cool.
Comics galore.
Alternative World, vintage and modern. But it used to be Melbourne's largest comic shop and one of the oldest. I mean, I feel like an old comic store generally has old toys as well, so you never know.
Yeah, that one in Adelaide that was in my last video was so good.
Yeah,
it was just tubs, like boxes on top of each other. It was like crazy.
Nick Smith's just talking about a couple of train stores. I'm sure your dad's all over these, but
he is. I think he's going to. Let me just. I think he's going to. Keep talking.
No, that's all right. That's all right. And yeah, Deano's dad's definitely into the trains and
train world.
Train
world at Brighton, I think it is.
Yeah. Looks like there's more than one though. Sean saying he's in Adelaide, never knew that con existed. There you go.
Really? Supernova? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's been going for. I've been going over for probably 6 years. I think it's been going for longer than that. So yeah, it's usually around that same time. And they also have Oz Comic Con as well, which is another sort of meet and greet expo.
There we go. Well, that's pretty much it for our Melbourne trip. I mean, we've got a lot planned over a 3-day period, but we just wanted to pop on here and do a bit of a briefing session, a bit of a preview of our trip. I'll give a shout out to the Toy Box Collectibles 2.0 guys, Ben and Ian. If I was as talented and organised as those chaps, I would have a map of Melbourne. I would have an animated, Deano and I, and show us, going to the different places around Melbourne where we're going to. But unfortunately, just didn't have that preparation. But maybe next time we plan an interstate trip like this, I'll put something together like that. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of fun stuff planned. So we just wanted to jump in here and share a bit of our plans and basically just spend an hour or so getting pumped, which is really what we've done.
That was it. And I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. And we appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We appreciate those guys and girls that are in Melbourne offering some suggestions. And like I said, I mean, there's a few people hanging out in the chat tonight that we're looking forward to catching up with, like Simon and Lee and Ian. But look, anybody else in Melbourne who wants to get together with us for a beer, or maybe wants to sort of meet up with us at Lobo's or Aaron's or whatever the case may be, feel free to drop us a line on Insta, and I'll let you know where we're going to be, and we can maybe try and tee something up. But anything else for you to add, Dino?
No, I think you smashed all that. Yeah, just reach out if you want to hang out and have a chat, have a beer, talk toys, talk whatever.
Yep.
Happy to.
I'll give Totally Tailored Retro Hunters a plug. Make sure you go check out Dino's channel if you've not done already. There's a link to Totally Tailored Retro Hunters on YouTube in the description of this stream.
I think I need one for 500. I'm like,
oh, can we get Dino's 500? Come on.
It got there and went backwards, and I'm like,
mate, it happens, doesn't it? I've had a couple of milestones like that, but so I'll give Dino's channel a shout out. I know that he's just released a video in the last few days, so go check that out. The most recent one was the Adelaide
it was weekend, but there's a toy room tour there that I'm very proud of as well. So check that out. But shout out back to Scotty. If you're here, you probably already subscribed, but give the video a like. Question there from Dave. Trip starts on Friday, mate. So Friday, back on Monday. So 4 days down there. Can't wait. So pumped.
I've missed something here.
Can you subscribe
twice? When's the trip start? Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Dino.
That's all right.
We've just got a few more comments here. Alternative World. We'll have to look that up, mate. That place sounds massive and definitely worth checking in. So definitely worth dropping in. So I appreciate that recommendation. Cheers, Sean. Thanks for popping in, mate. Appreciate you hanging out with us.
Thank you, anyone that just did it, because we just got 501.
Oh, there you go, legends. Ian's putting together his maps for his preview, so that's another good shout out. Anybody who's checking out the Giant Size Vintage and Modern Toy Fair at Caulfield Racecourse this Sunday, make sure you head on over to Toybox Collectibles 2.0 on Facebook. Give those guys a follow, because Ian and Ben from Toybox Collectibles will be doing a live preview of that fair, and I'm looking forward to it, because we've never been to that giant size one, so I'm looking forward to that preview as well.
Tell me where the loose Star Wars is.
That's all Dino needs to know. Cheers, Carl. Thanks, appreciate that. Thanks, Shaneco.
Thank you, everyone.
Good on you, Damien. Good on you, Scree. But we'll wrap it up there, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And maybe once we get back, maybe we'll have to talk about maybe doing a debrief where we can share some pickups and talk about the trip. Obviously, there'll be videos, but it would be cool to maybe do a sort of a post-trip live stream as well, maybe on Dino's channel. So we'll talk about that. So stay tuned for that. But thanks, everybody, guys. We will leave you to it, and we will see you next time. Catch you later.
Thank you, everyone.